Greetings, citizens of the United States of America. We are anonymous. We are Legion. We speak to you today to bring you word or a planned peaceful and nonviolent action plan for June 1st to take back the government from our corrupt leaders. Our government has betrayed us. They have squandered the wealth of America, borrowing so much money that not even 4 generations of Americans can ever hope to pay it off. Our government has taken power that is denied to it by our Constitution, and become a slave master over our states. We must take back our nation from the special interests, the bankers, and others who only use us as slaves to pay back debts that the people have never asked for or agreed to. Our government no longer listens to us. Our citizens send petition after petition to Washington with no results. Our government does not read our grievances and does what they want, not what the people want them to do. For those of you who have the thought that this is illegal, no, it cannot be. Our own nation's Declaration of Independence established this right long ago with these words, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. This march is planned as a peaceful, nonviolent protest, with such numbers of people that the current government simply cannot stop it, not even by military force. Even if the armed forces were recalled from overseas, and would agree to stand against us, the National Guard units were all called up, and every law enforcement officer in America was sent there, we would still massively outnumber all of them. They will not be able to stop change when it comes. This demonstration will be like no other in America, a true we the people act of protesting defiance and civil disobedience mixed in. This nation has been taken over by a group of people who care only about serving their own agenda. They care not one bit that they have violated the Constitution, that they have taken the freedoms that Americans hold most dear, or that they have driven our nation into the poorhouse. This movement, back to the Constitution, is not about black or white, Republican or Democrat, male or female. It is about restoring the freedoms and rights that were given to Americans by God Almighty, affirmed by the Founding Fathers, for which millions of Americans have fought and died to preserve, but which have been slowly taken away from us by people seeking to only serve their own interests and agenda. It does not matter whether you believe in the New World Order, the Illuminati, or even whether you believe in God. What matters is that you believe that America is the greatest nation in the history of the world, that America became that way on the belief that its citizens were free to be whoever they chose to be as great or as little as they wanted, and that the government does not have the power to stifle those freedoms based on the illusions of safety and security. The strength of this nation was founded in diversity, and America has always had that strength in ample measure, until the government grew so large and corrupt that it took on a life of its own and no longer considered the people the source of its authority. It became government for the sake of government alone, with no concern for, or consent of, those it governed. Racial and class division, while it has always existed in America to some degree, has never been a problem, talking point, or rallying cry, until it was used by this administration to set Americans against one another to further their own agenda. The purpose of this nationwide occupation is to take our nation back, reform our government, and prune it back into the boundaries established by our Constitution. We must dispense with the thousands of petitions that the government no longer even bothers to read or, in some cases, accept. We are going to stop asking, and we are going to do it ourselves. This is a brief list of what we intend to accomplish. The immediate resignation of this present government, every single one of them, and that each state immediately hold special elections to re-elect a new House, Senate, President and Vice President. Current office holders would be eligible to enter these elections, subject to proper proof of their eligibility to hold the office sought by no other means than a properly authenticated original long-form birth certificate. The immediate revocation of the authority granted to the private corporation named the Federal Reserve to issue United States currency or to regulate the value of the dollar. The immediate nationalization of the privately held corporation named the Federal Reserve, and absorption of all of their assets back into the Department of the Treasury. The immediate termination of United States participation in the United Nations, and the removal of the United Nations from American soil. The immediate trimming of federal jurisdiction to that which is authorized by the Constitution. The District of Columbia. Those lands purchased by the existing federal government from the states, or ceded to the government by the states, pursuant to the provisions of the Constitution. Those United States territories not yet admitted to statehood. The immediate return of all public lands, held in trust by the federal government, to the respective states. Lands purchased by the existing federal government from the states, or ceded to the government by the states, pursuant to the provisions of the Constitution, may remain under federal government ownership. These demands will be non-negotiable. These demands will be backed up by the presence of many millions of angry Americans surrounding every government building in America who refuse to take no for an answer. And that is something they cannot fight. We are anonymous. We are Americans. We do not forgive tyranny by our government. We do not forget treason to the corrupt United States government. You should have expected us